Gerald, do swear that I will be faithful.
8 more ministers take the oath of office today. We'll tell you who's responsible for what.
Today also serves as a reminder.
The Bahamas remembers the crew of the HMBS Flamingo today.
I look around.
Starts now.
Islands of the Bahamas. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Keishla Adderley. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, 8 cabinet appointments were made today as a mix of political veterans and first-time parliamentarians were assigned to oversee ministries which will, according to Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie, address priority national issues. Clint Watson was there as the appointments ranging from national security and education to financial services and tourism were made.
I, Bernard J. Nottage, being appointed minister,
do swear that I will be faithful and bear allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II,
Freely give my counsel and advice to the Governor General or any other person for the time being.
For the good management of the public affairs of the Bahamas.
I, Allison Maynard Gibson, being appointed minister,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
do swear that I will, to the best of my judgment, at all times when so required,
according to law. So help me God.
They represent the first group to be sworn into Prime Minister Christie's cabinet, full of fresh ideas and infused with some experience. But more importantly, says Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie, they will play a significant role in addressing the critical issues facing the Bahamas today.
Crime, the economy, and the need to revamp our educational system to better prepare our youth for the challenges that face them. It is a reflection of the urgency that the new government attaches to these matters, that this first group of ministers to be announced are directly involved in the fight against crime, the revitalization of the economy, especially in tourism and financial services, and the expansion of our investment in the education of our youth so that they can be properly equipped to compete in the 21st century.
The Prime Minister says he's aware that his appointments may give rise to questions.
But I am even more acutely conscious that the enormous crisis that engulfs us at this very hour on the crime front and in all areas of the economy, especially tourism, obliges me to put the urgent needs of the nation above any concern of popularity.
And with 5 murders already this week, Mr. Christie used the opportunity to address the issue of crime.
That this is no longer about winning votes. It's about stopping the slaughter on our streets and putting criminals behind bars. When you see us reach a point where 5 murders are committed within 48 hours, we have to know that we are in crisis that calls for immediate, resolute, and sustained action. The decline in our economy, especially in our primary industry, tourism, also calls for tried and tested hands to be placed on the wheel as we seek to right this ship as a matter of great urgency.
As we spoke to the various ministers today that were sworn in, the message was clear among all of them, and that is the need to begin the work now. According to Prime Minister Christie, it has to get done now because the country demands it. And over the course of the next few days, we'll be sharing with you at length their plans in various ministries to see it accomplished. But the key ingredient, they say, is support from the public. They feel they're getting that. Clint Watson, ZNS News.
Now, the appointments are as follows. The Honourable Dr. Bernard J. Nottage, Minister of National Security and Leader of Government Business in the House of Assembly. Obadiah Wilshcombe, Minister of Tourism. The Honourable Jerome Fitzgerald, Minister of Education, Science and Technology. The Honourable Ryan Pinder, Minister of Financial Services. The Honourable Allison Maynard Gibson, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Damian Gomez, Minister of State in the Ministry of Legal Affairs the Honorable Michael Halkitis, Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance the Honorable Keith Bell, Minister of State in the Ministry of National Security. Well, over the course of the next week, we'll talk to cabinet ministers about their portfolios and how they plan to achieve their goals. Here's a sneak peek at their responses.
The desire is to make financial services, again, a very strong industry in the country, to make us regional and global leaders in the financial services industry.
There is a major commitment on our part to make sure that we prepare not only our students for 21st century job, but we also have sufficient training in place so that we can upgrade the level of training and preparing our tradesmen and so forth so they're able to compete with the jobs that we know are going to be developed moving forward.
I do not believe that we can completely eliminate crime, but what we want to do is to reduce it to an irreducible minimum. That is my objective. Now, we have to determine what that is, and that will come with a lot of study, a lot of analysis, a look at the resources we have, serious research on what we think is causing crime, engaging the community, and hopefully being able to reduce crime as much as is possible.
The opposition was also sworn in today. Dr. Hubert Minnis, the former health minister, took the oath of office as official opposition leader in the House of Assembly. Much of the hierarchy of the Free National Movement attended the ceremony in the ballroom at Government House. Former Prime Minister and former leader of the Leader of Government, the Right Honourable Hubert Ingram, was also among those attending. Meantime, Free National Movement parliamentarians-elect performed their constitutional duty by selecting a new leader of the opposition last night. The party election was held during a Central Council meeting at the FNM's Mackey Street headquarters. Serving in his second term in the House of Assembly, the new leader is no stranger to politics or the general public. Aldous Munnings has the story.
If I was not prepared, I would not accept the position.
The Free National Movement's Member of Parliament-elect for Killarney and former Health Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis was unanimously voted by his parliamentary colleagues to become the leader-designate of the opposition. At a press conference shortly after the election at the party's Mackey Street headquarters Wednesday night, Dr. Minnis was honored to receive this appointment on the 22nd anniversary of former FNM founder and leader, the late Sir Cecil Wallace Whitfield's death. The new leader-designate of the opposition boasted that the party's leadership transition is seamless and pledged to work with the new Progressive Liberal Party government for the best interest of all Bahamians.
We will not oppose for the sake of opposing, but we will oppose without hesitation, vigorously and ferociously what we believe is harmful to the general welfare and common good of the Bahamian people. We ask the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Urban Development to provide details of their work as consultants for a foreign company that is engaged in oil exploration in the Bahamas.
Dr. Minnis also admitted that the Free National Movement is flattered that the new PLP government reportedly borrowed the term urban development from them.
We wait to see if this is a mere window dressing or yet another slogan such as Urban Renewal 2.0. At the appropriate time, we will detail further ideas for genuine urban development, building on the accomplishments of the last 5 years.
The new leader-designate of the opposition thanked his family and friends, political colleagues, constituents, and campaign team for his re-election to Parliament. He specifically thanked Free National Movement leader Hubert Ingram for his outstanding service to the party and the Bahamian people.
Let us pledge to carry on his legacy and vision, which is to build a greater opportunity society for every Bahamian across the length and breadth of the country we all love to cherish. We were faced with a recession. The entire world is faced with a recession. And if you look at what's happening with the United States and other countries, they're preparing through all these infrastructural changes They're preparing for what I term the new first world. Hubert Ingram was preparing the Bahamas to join this new first world.
Dr. Minnis is expected to receive his instruments of appointment 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon at Government House. Altaviz Munnings, ZNS News.
Now, keep in mind that the leader of the opposition and leader of the Free National Movement, though usually held by the same person, are two different positions. Here's FNM Chairman Carl Bethel on that.
Historically, in the Free National Movement, we have had instances where the party leader was not a member of the House of Assembly. In 1976, their late successor, Wallace Whitfield, was not a member of the House of Assembly when he resumed the leadership of the Free National Movement in preparation for the 1997 general elections. And after the 2002 election defeat, the leader of the party was the Honourable Tommy Turnquest, but the leader of the opposition in the House was the Honourable Alvin Smith.
Now, the Free National Movement will convene for a one-day leadership convention on May 26th to elect the new party leader. There's speculation that the FNM's Member of Parliament-elect for Long Island and former Minister of State for Social Development, Loretta Butler Turner, would be elected as the Free National Movement's deputy leader. We asked Mrs. Turner about that after last evening's Central Council meeting.
If the party so desires to have me as its deputy leader, I'm ready, willing, and able.
Now, meantime, Mrs. Butler Turner told us she's taken note of the fact that international election observers focused on the number of women elected to Parliament. She says she wants to change the standings.
That I'd like to encourage women to realize that for us to truly make change and to be a part of the change agents that we ought to be, we've got to become more involved. So one of the things that I'm going to do right now as the sole female parliamentarian for the opposition is to ensure that our party continues its growth and grooming of future candidates so that we can have greater participation and, of course, in the future also have greater victories for women.
Well, still to come in the Bahamas tonight, a strange twist in a familiar case. Stay tuned.